delegated to Slovenia. Fifth, Spain. ASEP Switzerland. SNAP Sweden, delegated to ASEP Switzerland. EPSA International Turkey. And EPSA United Kingdom. Please hold your voting cards up high. And I have 22 voting members present.
Thank you very much. With that, we can move to the next point on the agenda, which is appointments. Okay, we'll start with appointment of the chairperson, which is where I'll do so I can read the motion. Reads the 63rd EPSA General Assembly appoints the EPSA President of the Hood as the chairperson of the 63rd EPSA General Assembly. I open the floor for discussion. I see no points being raised. I close the floor for discussion. I'll ask. Yeah. So. Yeah. So, is anyone against? Any abstentions? And who is? There's 22 votes for, so the motion was carried unanimously. Thank you very much. We are moving to the. Then we are moving to the next motion, which reads the 63rd EPSA General Assembly appoints the EPSA Secretary General, Marlene Scheininger, as Secretary for the 63rd EPSA General Assembly. I open the floor for discussion. I see no points being raised. I close the floor for discussion. And I'd like to vote those ones that are against. Any abstentions? And who is for? There's 22 votes for. The motion was carried unanimously. And I have technical from Frey.
Frey, ID. I would please ask all people that are signed into the Wi-Fi equipment of the area with nothing more to sign out because the bandwidth is just not enough. Thank you.
Thank you. So these show you're not in need of using the internet. You sign out with the Wi-Fi so you can have a smooth live stream or change to the correct one if you're connected to the wrong one. Okay, good. Then we can move to the facilitators. And okay, so the motion reads the 63rd EPSA General Assembly appoints Gabriel Branco, Sylvia Ponseca, and Javier Seiko as facilitators for the 63rd EPSA General Assembly. I open the floor for discussion. I see no point being raised. I close the floor for discussion, and I'd like to ask the members to raise their voting cards who's against, who abstains, and who is for. Can I have 22 votes for? The motion was carried unanimously. And with that, I would like to pass the facilitation to BC.
Thank you, Efsa. There's a problem. Just a second. Yeah, you will have to be technical from us. You will have to turn on your internet because we also don't have internet. Technical from on you.
Malini Secretary General, please, we have different Wi-Fis for different people for a reason, because so that none of the Wi-Fis are getting like overwhelmed by each other, and we need to have one for live stream, and we need to have one for PC also to work. So please stay within your assigned Wi-Fi. It should work out then, because otherwise we cannot run the GA. And otherwise, also people who could not attend cannot even follow the GA. And since it's the highest decision-making body of EPSA, it should be respected.
Thank you, Craig, for the information.
The IT coordinator, as mentioned in the beginning, we need you to be on the 5G ones only. Unfortunately, it cannot be supported that you are also in the other ones as we tried before, because just the bandwidth is neither enough for the second parliamentary, neither for the live stream. I still cannot stream properly, so please log out if you're not in the 5G ones.
I just need clarifications because there are like 3 internet connections, one with 5G, the other one 5G EXD, and the other one EX. Which one are you on?
Information from Craig.
The IT coordinator, both of the 5G ones are good. Both the 5G and the 5G EXT are fine for you to log in. Just not the other two.
Well, in this section, also please people don't only log into the Wi-Fi from one device. Let's try to give everyone access, which means also if you share a computer, try to only use the computer, not the phone as well, so that we can try to get it running for everyone.
Okay, I'm sorry for that delay. We had to rewrite the motions because they were not loading. And we lost them. Yes, so I will read the motion. For time purposes, I didn't write the name of all the coordinators because they will all be appointed. Thank you, Chairperson. I will read the motion. 53rd EPSA General Assembly appoints all EPSA team coordinators present. I know I need to write their names, sorry for that. Okay, the 63rd EPSA General Assembly appoints all EPSA team coordinators present. Katie Nol Kempis, Kedo Endovila, Estadvila, the Netherlands. Pascaline Moyerson, VFSO Belgium, as scrutineers for the 63rd EPSA General Assembly. I open the floor for discussion on this motion. Joseph for the technical?
Yes, Mr. President, I close the floor for discussion.
Okay, then we'll proceed on voting on the motion as it reads. The 63rd EPSA General Assembly appoints all EPSA team coordinators present. Kaki No, Keda Endopila, Estadvila, the Netherlands, and Pascaline Moyerson, VFSO Belgium, as scrutineers for the 63rd EPSA General Assembly. I ask if anyone's against, if there are any abstentions, and who votes for? I have 22 votes for, none against, and no abstentions. So we'll move on to the next motion. The 63rd EPSA General Assembly appoints all EPSA team coordinators present as meeting secretaries for the 63rd EPSA General Assembly. I open the floor for discussion on the motion. Joseph for the technical? No. I have a technical from Valentine.
Valentine also Switzerland. Would it be possible that you increase it so that everyone can see what it is actually written on there? Thanks.
Of course, is it better?
Yeah.
Perfect. Joseph for the technical?
Mr. President, can the executive get 3 minutes for the deputy just to review something now? The motion carries if you're fine with that. Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry. The motions were invalid. We'll have to vote again to add something while rewriting the motion. Okay. I'm really sorry, but let's go back to the first motion regarding scrutineers. I will read the motion now correctly. The 63rd EPSA General Assembly appoints all EPSA team coordinators present. Kaki Nol, Akeo Endopila, Estadvila, the Netherlands, and Pascaline Moyerson from EPSA Belgium as scrutineers for the 63rd EPSA General Assembly. By this, Article 4.5 of the extending order shall be overruled. I open the floor for discussion on the motion. Joseph?
Yes, Mr. President, to explain why we are overruling the article, as always. So the Article 4.5 of the standing order states that none of the officials, so that's official delegates and LSs, nor the EPSA team members can be either scrutineers or meeting secretaries. So for this reason, this standing order, this article of the standing orders have to be overruled.
Thank you, Joseph. Are there any other points? Joseph for the technical?
Yes, Mr. President, I close the floor for discussion.
And we'll proceed to voting on the motion once again. The 63rd EPSA General Assembly appoints all EPSA team coordinators present. Kaki No, Endopila, Estadvila, the Netherlands, in Moyerson from EPSA Belgium, as scrutineers for the 63rd EPSA General Assembly. By this, Article 4.5 of the standing orders shall be overruled. I ask if there are any votes against, if there are any abstentions, and who votes for? Okay, I have 22 votes for, none against, and no abstentions, so the motion was carried unanimously. The 63rd EPSA General Assembly appoints all EPSA team coordinators present as meeting secretaries for the 63rd EPSA General Assembly. By this, Article 4.5 of this order shall be overruled. I open the floor for discussion on the motion. Joseph?
Joseph, President, it's this same as with the previous motion as I explained, so that's why we are overruling this article of the standing orders.
Thank you, Joseph. Are there any other points? Joseph for the technical.
Joseph, President, I close the floor for discussion.
Thank you. We'll proceed to voting on the motion as it reads. The 63rd EPSA General Assembly appoints all EPSA team coordinators present at the secretaries for the 63rd EPSA General Assembly. By this, Article 4.5 of the standing order shall be overruled. I ask if anyone's against, if there are any abstentions, and who votes for? Okay, thank you. I have 22 votes for, none against, and no abstentions. Unanimously. And we'll move on to the next point of the agenda, which is the acknowledgement of observers and short introductions. Joseph?
Joseph, President, so at the moment we don't have any observers, but we will have a representative from IPS of Europe, so we'll take their presentation and introduction later in the agenda.
Thank you, Joseph. We'll move on to the next point of the agenda, which is changes to the agenda. I ask if anyone has changes to propose. GBSF, please. Please stand up so that we can receive.
As GBSF reads, since GBSF is considering to submit a motion that might, if accepted, it might affect the current election procedure, we would like to vote on this motion in the beginning of the first session tomorrow.
Okay, so considering the proposal from GBSF Greece, I'll ask the GA what they think about the change to the agenda. I have GBSF, what sign are you making? A clarification from GBSF?
So as you can see, does UPSF mean a whole agenda point and other motions, or just one particular motion?
Thank you. To reply to a clarification, that should be a point of information, but GBSF, go ahead.
As GBSF reads, not just this specific motion, not all the other motions, since the deadline is not over. So,
Yes, a small point of information from the DC side as well, since the members' motions deadline is only Wednesday, 23:59 is assessed, then the members' motion, the whole point didn't. Joseph for the technical.
Mr. President, I close the floor for discussion.
I open the floor. Again. Joseph.
Mr. President, thank you for the proposal. Let me quickly see all the. Yes, there is possibility to move the agenda around to include it there. I will reflect it in the, if accepted, of course. I will reflect it in the light J agenda so everyone can see also the timings and so on.
Thank you. No, we'll move on to the next point of the agenda. If there are any new points, which is the adoption of the agenda, and I will read the motion. The 63rd EPSA General Assembly adopts the proposed agenda for the 63rd EPSA General Assembly. Changes proposed. I will put it there. Sorry, guys. Good. Everyone. The 63rd EPSA General Assembly proposed agenda for the 63rd EPSA General Assembly with the changes proposed. I open the floor for discussion on the motion. Joseph, with the technical.
I close. Sorry. Yes, Mr. President, I close the floor for discussion.
Thank you. Then we will proceed to voting. I ask if anyone's against. If there are any abstentions. And who votes for? I have 22 votes for, none against, and no abstentions, so the motion is carried unanimously. And we'll move on to the next point of the agenda, which is the adoption of the minutes of the 62nd EPSA General Assembly in Lyon, France. I don't know how to say this word. I will read the motion. The 63rd EPSA General Assembly adopts the minutes of the 62nd EPSA General Assembly in Lyon, France. I open the floor for discussion on the motion. Joseph for the technical.
Yes, Mr. President, I close the floor for discussion.
Thank you. Then we'll proceed to voting on the motion as it reads. The 63rd General Assembly adopts the minutes of the 62nd EPSA General Assembly, Lyon, France. I ask if anyone's against. If there are any abstentions. And who votes for? I have 22 votes for, none against, and no abstentions, so the motion is carried unanimously. We'll move on to the next point of the agenda, which is applications for ordinary and associate membership in EPSA. And we have one application, as said, from Ukraine. Exactly. Yes. And to come here, please to present your presentation. Sorry, can I just ask you, are you going to be presenting as well? Yeah. Okay, come here. Yeah, sorry, let me just clarify. Okay, I have an info from Marlene first.
Marina section, just also for all who have never been in GA, when we have short technical intermission times, it is standing orders are still in place, which means do not talk to other delegations. Yeah, also we try to keep those technicals as short as possible, but sometimes it's necessary, so.
Yeah, I have a new point from EPSA. Feel free to continue to show the presentation.
Okay, hello, dear EPSA. I'm president of and founder of Ukrainian Pharmaceutical Students Association, as you can see, and let me just little introduce you our association. So, yeah, thank you. We will start from our structure. Actually, EPSA started our work 1 year ago, and during this time we organized our structure like comfortable for us. So we have a president and general secretary and vice presidents of different fields of work. So yeah, okay. So what we have done for this year, actually we officially registered our NGO and we have all documents which we need. So like it's everything official. And also we, with our team, we organize 12 events. At this moment, just a little more, because just this event actually, this event with professionals from pharmaceutical field, from pharmacy companies, and for students it can be educational and also professional events. And also we created 4 LCs. What LCs means? It's local committees in 4 different cities, because our aim is to unite all cities in Ukraine and unite all students. And now at this time we united 4 cities, 4 universities. So also we represented this moment 71 active members, and it's not just like members who apply for membership. They also work in EPSA, they work in organization and events, they work in other teams, so yeah. And let's talk about our goals. Our goals is to be a part of EPSA, and after this we plan to establish our cooperation and to be an active participant in EPSA. And also we plan to implement our membership fee and to have opportunity to pay fee for EPSA. And also we plan to continue our growing and create new local committees in other cities, and also to get more members in our association. And because of this, it makes our organization more stable. And also we want to continue to organize projects for students and different projects, not only just by our association, but also in cooperation with us. And also our plan is to be a part of the IPSF. We want to have opportunity to provide for our students an internship, and we want to continue work on it. So and what EPSA about is, at first it's about community, it's about people, it's about environment when they can just share their ideas and realize these ideas together with other members. This is environment where they can get new experience, knowledge, and also they have opportunity for professional and self-realization. And also it's about privacy. Why? Because EPSA is the first association in Ukraine who started to unite students from different cities, who started to make this connection between students. And also we are the first who started to have communications with professionals from pharmacy field. We started to invite them, we started to have common events, and also we started to organize internship in our country with pharmaceutical companies. So we're the first one who started to do this. Of course, it's made for us some preferences, but yeah, it is. And the ending of my speech, I want to say that EPSA during this year handled with a lot of difficulties. We founded our association when the pandemic started, and we continue doing our projects and opening new local committees in distance format. And now, even in conditions of war, we continue to making and organizing some projects. And I think that it's hard to stop us in achieving our goals. And I want to assure you, EPSA, that EPSA will be as patient about EPSA as we are about our work in Ukraine. And that's all. Thank you for your attention.
For your presentation. I will open the floor now for participants to ask questions. I have Switzerland first.
So Switzerland, first of all, thank you very much for the presentation. I saw in the list of all the schools that aren't included, you wrote that you plan to communicate with them. And do you already have a plan by when you want to communicate with how many? And what is your goal to reach till the end of the year? Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
two? Yeah. Efsa?
Okay. Thank you for your question. Actually, yes, we had this plan, and we worked during this plan last few months how to communicate with these universities. We had a plan which university will be next, and actually it worked. I don't know, but it worked. Like we can create one local committee in 1 month. It's like the shortest term. We worked by this system last 4 months. So yeah, and it was successfully. And I think if we will work hard, we will keep continue doing by this plan. And our next plans, which we will cities which we will include, is just like the most bigger universities in pharmacy in Ukraine. And after, like we will just like at first we try to focus on the biggest university, but yeah, we will keep continue to do this with other universities too.
Thank you. I have a direct from EPSA UK.
That's in EPSA UK. So in the list of universities you said you wanted to contact, you put Zaporizhia, which I think is already represented by MSU, but can you clarify like what you actually mean by that?
Technical from Marina.
Marina section, please try to speak clearly and loudly.
For the live stream as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Would you mind repeating the question, please?
Sebastian, EPSA UK. So you put in the list of universities that you wanted to contact, that you wanted to get in contact with Zaporizhia, which is represented by MSU Ukraine, who are already a member of EPSA. Can you just clarify what you meant by contact them? Thanks.
Thank you. Efsa?
Thank you for your question. Yes. MCU, yeah, they're already in EPSA, but yeah, we contact them. Like we contact them a few times. We had a meeting, commons, and we discussed how we will work together later. And I will say what they say directly. They said that they will not plan to represent more students from other cities. And actually, the reason is their organization don't have any improvement of participation of just like regular students. Like students don't apply for memberships, don't fill the form of application. So like they just like the members of words. And we discussed it with them that like they not plan to move to another cities, but now we have all rights to be also to have participants in the city because they're like not like officially they're not participants of their associations. It's not, they just said that they represent students from this university, but we don't know what students think about this and what like does they want to be a part of, for example, of MSU or UPSA or MSU, yeah. So we will keep continue to do this like what we should because we have official application for membership and official form and yeah, it's like more official and we will ask students what they want to do in the future.
Thank you. Asaf, do you still have a direct to just said, or should we take it? Okay, we'll take you as new point registered. We have a direct from Annette France. No.
Annette, get up when I say your name, please, so that the scrutineer knows to take it.
To Annette France, but do you have already some collaboration with them and do you have really good relations with them?
Thank you. Efsa?
Yes, we had a connection with them. We had good actually good communication with them, but we didn't do common project before, for example. So like in future, if it will be needed, for example, for EPSA or for representing our common position from Ukraine, we will do this. It's not a problem, but we didn't do this before, and we discussed it with them like how we will communicate later when we will be in EPSA, and like it's not a problem. We have a good relationship, and we can just decide together, make it together.
I will will move on to the new points now. Just so you guys know, we are registering your points, so if we keep doing this, we will keep registering. Like EPSA has 4 new points, for example.
So when you raise your hand up high, just so you know, you can look either at Gabriel or at me or at Javier, and if we do like this or like this, we have registered you. So, like Gabriel said, Izzy has 4 and Asif has 2. So.
Okay. It's completely fine if you do have more new points, it's just so you know the procedure is you don't have to remind. We'll go to Efsa Lithuania first.
Thank you so much, Nidas of Lithuania. Our question is, do you already have someone elected for a position of nation secretary for EPSA or advocacy platform representative? And how are you going to make sure that they are able to participate in EPSA events? Are you going to sponsor their registration fees or travel expenses or something like that? Thank you.
SFT, that was 2 questions. There should have been 2 new points, so this time we'll let us answer both, but try to do separately. Efsa.
Okay, thank you for the question. Okay, first, when I applied for the reform of the membership, I wrote that I will be elected secretary for this position, but also I'm decided to apply for the position in EPSA team, so we will see like what will happen, and if I will be at this position, we will change our license secretary for another person who also have enough skills and knowledge of English and all the stuff. And yeah, we will change it, of course. And the another question, yeah, like now we will provide it by membership fee, and also we're working on establishing litigation with sponsors. So yeah, and membership, of course, in EPSA, it will help. It will be helpful for us. Yeah. So yeah, now we don't have any sponsors. We have a connections with pharmaceutical companies, but we should do to show them more for getting sponsorship. So yeah.
Thank you. I have a direct from EPSA. UK.
Sebastian, the UK, you mentioned the EPSA membership fee. So what's your expected EPSA membership fee, and how do you pay this?
Okay. Yeah, we think that the EPSA membership fee will be is around should we change it in euros? Maybe around 8-9 euros. Of course, maybe it's not so many, but in Ukrainian, like according to Ukrainian conditions, it's okay for students, and it will be enough for us to pay the membership fee for EPSA, like from each student.
Thank you. We'll move on to the new points. We have KMKC first.
Will it be a problem if there's just in condition limits? Will it be a problem if there's going to be a member of both MSU and EPSA, or is it not something to worry about?
I have a technical from Armenia.
Wait a second, you also need to speak up and clearly, please. Thank you.
Yes, and I will also point of information.
Currently, in EPSA, it is not allowed to have 2 members that represent the same students.
Thank you. You can repeat your question. Sorry, because of the volume.
Jason, can you repeat that? My question was, will it be a problem if there's going to be a member of both MSU and EPSA that is not going to be allowed?
Yeah, as Carolina said, it's not possible to represent the same students, and we discussed it with MSU, and they understand everything, and we have a lot of at first, we want to, I will be honest, at first, like, want to represent because they have more active students. So we will focus on it, and after, when we will plan to create a local committee in this city, we will discuss with them this point again, but we don't have problems with that because as I said before, we need to ask the students about their opinion and about their position, what they want, because they didn't have any documents which you know, just like, which says that they are members of this association. We represent all the students who officially applied and who in our data and you know, all this stuff. We're not talking about the people who even don't know about existing of EPSA.
Thank you, Efsa. Just one information from the part of the DC. The information that Carolina provided was partially correct, but I will read the article from source that states this. 3.1.6, a local pharmaceutical students association already represented by EPSA by its National Pharmaceutical Students Association shall not be able to have an ordinary membership or an associate membership. In theory, if one student was represented by both, that would not be a problem unless MSU became a member of EPSA, and then MSU would not be able to be present in EPSA. But in case a lot of students started being represented by both, even if MSU wasn't represented by EPSA, this would be something that the Parliamentary Council would have to sort out. We'll move on to the new points again. I have a new point from PPSA Poland.
We help PPSA Poland. We believe it is in the EPSA spirit to give everyone a chance to become part of an association. However, having said that, we wanted you to elaborate a little bit more on the topic of the membership fees of the international associations, especially since you are planning to join both the EPSA and IPSF. If you could just please reassure us there will be enough place in the budget for both of the membership fees. Thank you.
Okay, as I understood right, I should just in details tell about budgets. Also, like, so I want to just to be honest, we didn't have a membership fee before, and so we didn't have this experience. We will plan everything in details. Like now, we don't have a lot of reason to spend money to another some needed stuff because of distance conditions and because of the war, of course. But we just had like €7. It will be a really great amount for our students because like they can just pay this membership and we can, by using this money, we can pay membership in EPSA. And after the stuff which the amount of money which will after we pay the EPSA membership fee, we will just like plan to spend on our needed according to the condition, because I can't just say right now what we will need. But yeah, like of course it will be some logistic stuff as I don't know, as Zoom, something like this, and we will. But I, as a president, I wanted to personally focus on motivating people, young people who just started their second course in pharmacy to join to EPSA team, because we need this young young people who will develop it after us. Because we started it when we was at the 4th and 5th course, and now we ended our university, but we feel that we need some people who will continue to do this, because if we will not find people, the EPSA will exist. So we founded some people now, and I want to focus this money to encourage people to join to the EPSA team, because it's like the main point of existing. Because we had the audience, we had students who just joined to us, but I want them to show that to show the opportunity, for example, to visit the assembly like this, to show new opportunities for them, and to feel them more confident in European level and national level too. But at national level, like we are alone, so it's hard to show the difference, for example, it's hard to show how it works actually, but we can show how it works in European level by now. So we will spend this money for this.
Thank you. Efsa, I'll just ask you to try to be brief in your replies and stick to the question that was asked. I have a director from ASEC Switzerland.
Valentine, also Switzerland. You mentioned that you want to ensure sustainable growth through implementing younger students. And I wanted to ask you if you have other measurements to ensure that EPSA won't die in parentheses after a couple of years when those young students go. So do you have established some kind of documents that explain the structure of EPSA or how you handle things? Thanks.
Thank you, Yusuf.
Yes, thank you for your question. We have official documents as statute and other documents who approved our registration and the stuff. But also we have our inner documents inside our association about how describing our activities, describing our responsibilities of all our members. We don't have a strategic plan yet. I don't know why we will work on it. So yeah.
Thank you, and we'll move on to the new points. I have EPSA, UK.
Sebastian, EPSA UK. So in your constitution, you talk about the chairman, but the chairman in your constitution, the head of the board, but it doesn't specify who can be chairperson or the chairman. Can you clarify if this is just students or is this anybody? Does that make sense? Thank you.
Okay. As I understood your question, who there are participants of our executive board, what the students? Can you repeat it again? Explain it more. Okay.
Clarification from EPSA.
Sebastian, EPSA UK. Yeah, can you clarify what type of person can be chairperson? Is it student or is it anybody? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. Yeah, there are in our executive board it can be only just pharmaceutical students, not students from just medical or stomatological, only pharmaceutical students. It's our position of our organization, and it's no matter which course the student is, and of course he or she should have enough skills, not experience, just because they didn't have a chance to get it. Maybe, of course, they can have a chance, but in other situations, but not in our. We focus on skills, and of course, our members should voting for these people at this position. So it's we also have assembly where the people are voting for people for this position, they apply.
Thank you. I just wanted a small point of information from the part of the PC as well. We did go through the statutes of UPSA, and this is actually one of the questions that we also asked, but we reached the conclusion that after the clarifications that were given, they were in accordance with the EPSA regulations. I just wanted you guys to know that. We have another viewpoint from BPSA.
Sebastian, EPSA UK. It wasn't really clear in the Constitution who is actually on the board. It seems quite fluid, and it seems like it can just change whenever. Can you just clarify how that works, please?
Thank you. Yusuf?
Yeah, it wasn't clear in our statute because of some government requirements, from our government when we apply, we should apply the statute, and we should, So our government requires the statute because look in example. So when we registered our NGO, it was necessary to write like this, but we can add it in our inner sub-documents, and also I should get more about possibility to change. If we will change status, we also should to register it again. But yeah, I should do, just get to know more about possibility to add some changes in this point, because depends of the part of statute, they need some, just strictly requirements for this part and stuff like this. But I will get to know, like, if it's necessary, we can add changes. I can get to know about this. Can I do these changes or not? But yeah, we didn't add it at first because it was requirements from government.
Thank you. Another new point from EPSA UK.
So as you say, the last point. You represent 4 universities. Your membership numbers are only 71, which is half of what MSU has from one university, so 150 members. How do you expect this increase your membership numbers? Because it seems quite low, like seeing as it's spread over 4 faculties. Thanks.
Thank you, MSU. Efsa?
Okay, second question. Yeah, we already represent 4 cities, and they actually they have more students than, like, of course they just like MSU University, but yeah, we want just like to encourage people, encourage more students from this university, from this university where we have LCs and other university, but when we talk about other cities, it's thousands of audience of students which we can represent, and now we're not feeling that we need that we can exist, for example, without students who in MSU. But if any students from this city will want to be a part of Efsa, we will encourage them there.
Thank you. Now we'll move on with the other new points. I have ASAP Switzerland.
Time as a Switzerland, I have a question. You wrote in the list of schools and pharmacies in Ukraine which are not represented, your status on how far you are. And there you wrote that EPSA is starting to prepare online collaboration. Can you elaborate what that exactly means? Does that mean that after the collaboration they're part of it, or how far are you there?
Okay, thank you for your question. That means we start to communicate with active students from this university and had with them some meetings where we introduce our association. And the first meeting, just like when we introduce our association, the second meeting where we talking about opportunities and how they can join not only as active listeners, for example, to the project, but also with the EPSA team, because all local committees have their own team of organization which exists which have 4 people: local president, secretary, PR manager, and project manager, and this team includes people from this university. Because of this, they can work directly with students from this university, and it's really it's work based on our experience.
Thank you. Now I have a question from Carolina.
Carolina BPIA, I would like to inform the GA that me and the president received an email from MSU that states that they are for the application of EPSA Ukraine.
Thank you, Carolina. Now I have a new point from the EPSA Republic.
Dominic Cassis, Czech Republic. Your statutes say that citizens of Ukraine, foreigners, and stateless persons who are in Ukraine legally have reached 14 years of age and actively contribute to the implementation of the statutory tasks of the organization may be members of the organization. So does this mean that you don't have to be a pharmaceutical student to apply to become a member?
And let's just, can I do more information from the part of the PC as well? We also asked about this, and it is a requirement in some countries. For example, in Portugal, there is also some statutes of some federations that say that 14 because it was written in the civil code. But I will be able to afford it if you want to come in.
our position, of course, we are focused on students and young professionals, like who can be a part of something. But actually, we had some requests for applying from people who was in this age. So, yeah.
Thank you. Now we go to the last few points that we have right now in the speaking order, which is aquaculture.
I'm Elena out of Austria, and we would like to ask. Elena out of Austria, we would like to know if you would be able to pay the EPSA membership fee and still have funds and for events and unforeseen.
Thank you. Let's just try to not repeat too much.
Yes, we will have this opportunity, and we will have the opportunity for sure to pay the EPSA fee, but also we will see how everything will go. If our needed will increase, we will increase our membership fee as we can, and as it's possible for students to pay. But to pay EPSA membership fee it will be for sure. And of course, we will still have some amount for our other needs.
Thank you. We don't have any more new points. Does anyone else have any questions that they still want to ask? If not, then we proceed to internal discussion on this, and I will ask EPSA to go with one of our scrutineers. I would say. Yeah, but someone will go with you. Elisa will go with you, so you can follow. La que tengo son Carolina.